The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health, our rights, and our freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful morning in downtown Clearwater, Florida, 66 degrees and a little bit cooler in the studio, unfortunately. But that's why I keep wearing my jacket here.
I know. We may not have winter weather here, but we do in the studio, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, but it is beautiful out here, I'll tell you. I mean, it's just like, you should come to Florida, folks, because this is, the weather is just fabulous.
Yeah, if you have any questions, too, for the show or ideas or opportunities, give us a call, Paige at TFNN.com.
And Nico at TFNN.com. And we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. Wanted to make a couple of announcements. The number one thing, of course, that we have a brand new Health Signals newsletter out today. So I want you to pick that up. Also,
good stuff.
On the front page of TFNN.com, we have a couple of different things. We have a November Healthy Holidays promotion. You save $25 on your first month of Primal Edge if you subscribe to the monthly Primal Edge. And I know we have a lot of clients out there now that have the Primal Edge already. All you have to do is call the studio, and we'll discount the next bottle for you.
There you go. So those of you that are using Primal Edge, take advantage of this and start the holidays healthy.
Yeah, tell your friends about this. This is huge for us. We don't make a lot of money on this product, but the $25, we wanted to give people a head start on a healthy holiday. I think it's really important to be healthy during the holidays. And this is when there's a lot of stress, a lot of different foods are out there. So we know we're going to go down the tubes in a sense of our diet a lot of times. So a little extra protection with the Primal Edge. And if you follow Paige and I and the way we eat, then during the holidays you're not going to have a problem because there's going to be plenty to eat. So stick around and we'll discuss that sometime too, for sure.
You know, while you're on that,
Yep.
I was trying to find it, and I don't think I'll find it. It went through my news feed, but somebody Facebooked Stephanie Seneff, the MIT researcher that we talk about here. She teaches us a lot about cholesterol and the importance of it, and she teaches us a lot about GMOs. And someone asked her, how can we detoxify ourselves from the genetically modified foods that we're being exposed to? And she went through a list of research that showed that sulfur-rich foods, and particularly fulvic and humic acids.
Wow.
And that is what inspired us. That is the base of the Primal Edge. It's been called nature's miracle molecule. It's a heavily researched source of all the natural vitamins, minerals, amino acids. So know that there's a lot of good science behind the Primal Edge.
Yeah, so not only do you get the good stuff in, but ensures that you get the bad stuff out, and that's the reason the humic and the fulvic is in there. So we can do the in and out thing, and it's a beautiful thing for sure.
Absolutely.
So pick that up. And also, of course, we have a brand new
quick cool down and stretch.
And this gal, Kelly, is going to take you down for a few minutes and stretch you out and make you feel good. So
take a few minutes today and stretch while you're sitting there trading.
Yeah. So today I wanted to really start out with this Japanese article. It says Japanese research exposes statin scam. People with high cholesterol live longer. I thought this was really cool because it says in the introduction here, high cholesterol levels are recognized as a major cause of osteoporosis.
Atherosclerosis.
However, for more than half a century, some have been challenging this notion. But which side is correct, and why haven't we come up with a definitive conclusion after all this time with more and more scientific evidence available?
Well, what they're saying is the answer is very simple. For the side that defends this so-called cholesterol theory, the amount of money at stake is simply too much to lose the fight.
You're talking about the drug companies and
That's
the
what I say.
statins.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The people that are pushing this cholesterol theory of heart disease make a lot of money. The statin drug is the number one most profitable drug used today or made
Yeah,
today.
and so if you're taking statins, you need to talk to your doctor, but you also need to do some research on your own to figure out why he's putting you on statins. I know a lot of doctors at the age of 55 recommend it automatically.
Well, the drug company has done a great job of educating through their sales reps the doctors that this is the standard of care.
Right.
And sadly, most doctors are afraid to move away from the standard of care, but what we have to do is know that the research is there to show that the standard of care is not the best care for you. And we always say, you're in charge of your health. Your doctor is a member of your team. So many people, particularly older people, they really, really do put a lot of blind faith in talking to their doctors for their health, but really a lot of doctors, unfortunately, just don't have much training in health. They have training in medicine. And health and medicine are two different things, actually.
Yeah, they really are. And, of course, they're getting there after their college and going through their PhD. The rest of the training comes from, of course, they have a certain amount of hours they have to do for these seminars. The other thing is, of course, the sales reps that come every month and do the scam thing, saying, okay, we need to push these drugs more. This is the commission you're going to get, that type of thing.
You know, when I was in college, I was recruited to a three-letter computer company straight out of college, as you know. But Merck was also offered me, I interviewed on campus and just couldn't do it. And, a lot of people would have thought right out of college a drug rep job would be a great job. I mean, it has been for years, or was for years, but it just never has set right with me.
Well, you didn't do it and you're here now.
Yeah, exactly.
So the issue of cholesterol is one of the biggest issues in medicine where the law of economics governs. Moreover, the advocates of this theory take the notion to be simple, irrefutable fact and self-explanatory. They will think that those who argue against the cholesterol theory They refer to them as eccentrics. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and when I sent you this article, a lot. I've already known, like, what's to diagnose. I've known for some time. I've studied the research. I've researched the leading thought leaders, especially like Stephanie Seneff from MIT. But I actually see this because I still have loved ones in my family that are older that just their doctors scare them every time they go. Well, I went back on it because my doctor said I should, and I'm like, why? And it is scary because that's exactly what happens. But when you do the research, you can see that, as we've often shared with you all, cholesterol is like the firemen at the fire. They're always there at the scene of a fire. But did they cause it? No. So the fire, folks, is sugar. So when you're eating a lot of excess carbs and sugar, you're creating a fire. You're creating damage. That cholesterol's there to repair. So as you get older, the more firemen you have on the fire, it's better.
And this is the season. We just had the candy day yesterday.
Oh,
so, yeah, start looking out for that.
We gotta take a
Paige
short
and I'll
break.
be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. So, the older you get, the higher your cholesterol is, the longer you live. So we're talking about a Japanese study. There were actually 4 Japanese researchers published an analysis on cholesterol guidelines and statin drugs in April of 2015 in the Annuals of Nutrition and Metabolism. And Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, the Scottish doctor who wrote The Great Cholesterol Con, recently stated on his blog that he has read the entire 116-page review of this Japanese study, and this is what he said. For many years, I've told anyone who will listen that if you have high cholesterol level, you will live longer. Equally, if you have a low cholesterol level, you will die younger. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a fact. The older you become, the more beneficial it is to have a high cholesterol level. This fact has become more difficult to demonstrate. And recently, as so many people have been put on statins, that the association between cholesterol levels and mortality has been twisted, bent, and pummeled into the weirdest shape imaginable. However, Japan provides some very interesting data. So this was a fairly recent study.
Yeah, the mortality from coronary heart disease in Japan has accounted for just around 7% of all mortality for decades, a much lower rate than seen in Western countries. The theory that lower cholesterol levels are the better is completely wrong in the case of Japan. In fact, the exact opposite is true, because Japan is unique in terms of cholesterol-related phenomena. It's easy to find flaws in the cholesterol hypothesis. So based on the data from Japan, we propose a new direction in the use of cholesterol medications for global health, namely recognizing that cholesterol is a negative factor for all cause mortality, and re-examine our use of cholesterol medications accordingly.
That's a strong statement there. And I really suggest maybe we can put this letter, put this in the next newsletter so people can print it off and take it to their doctors. It's important that we educate our doctors with information, because a lot of them just are not taking the time to get this
here,
research.
We believe this marks the starting point of a paradigm shift in not only how we understand the role cholesterol plays in health, but also how we provide cholesterol treatment itself.
Yeah, so it's really important, these guidelines that we have for cholesterol, because the major portion of this issue is just simply that we've been given information from from organizations that are not really keeping up with what researchers are showing.
Right.
So
So even though this has been, I mean, we've exposed the scam, and there's been in many books, the Sinatra book, the cholesterol myth. The book that he's talking about, which is, I forget the name of it, but...
The Cholesterol Con?
Yeah, the Cholesterol Con. There's a documentary here called Heart of the Matter, and it's one of the best documentary exposing the statin scam and interviewing doctors in this industry who have exposed it, published in 2013
in Australia. Yeah, it was very well done. I watched it.
And I'll be putting that in the newsletter coming up also. That's the one after the one that just came out today.
Yeah, and I think that if you take the time to look at this research, this can be very important to your loved ones, because the push is on, as you know. Somehow or another, despite this research, the drug companies are trying to find ways to get people on statins at younger and younger ages.
Well, they have a child-approved one now. They're starting as early, I think, as 15.
That is just horrific, because children need cholesterol to build healthy cells and to build healthy brains.
And kids who have problems, who are heavy, are entering puberty, you see a lot of changes in the body, and this is just another thing that they're going to have to deal with, the drug, instead of just watching their diet.
Well, instead of putting them on these drugs, take away the junk foods and the sugars and the candies and the cookies and the pastries and those sugary things that are creating inflammation in their little arteries and so forth, and get them on good, healthy fats.
So maybe we should switch from candy and give them money or something else, or maybe just an education book or something.
Right.
They're not going to like it that much.
I mean, I like the whole idea of a harvest. You know, still have a costume party, but why does it have to be about these processed candies?
Yeah. Well, I don't understand the whole thing. I mean, it was fun as a kid, I remember that, but dressing up as other things, and, you know, it's kind of neat. And it was a lot of fun as a child, and I don't enjoy it as much anymore. You know, I'm still handing out candy because that's what kids want.
Right.
And they love the chocolate bars and all that kind of stuff. And I did too when I was a kid, so I can't blame the kids. Who do I blame? I blame the media, I blame the drug companies, and eventually the parents have to be involved here somewhere. So if you want to start educating your kids at a younger age, I think that's really the key.
Yeah, and, you know, so just in kind of closing up this article, you know, you and I were doing a little research. A Medscape article came out, released in Baltimore. New finding from a large national claims database shows that the use of cholesterol-lowering statin drugs to be associated with an increased risk for Parkinson's disease, contrary to previous research suggesting that drugs have a protective effect from Parkinson's disease.
And we've talked about this before too, and that's the crying shame of the whole thing, is because not only are these medications kind of useless for your health, but they can bring other things in. So.
Well, Parkinson's disease is a neurological dysfunction that, you know, probably is related to pesticides and heavy metals. And if we can't protect the brain with cholesterol sulfate, so we make good brain cells and so forth, good cellular membranes, then we're going to be very susceptible to these toxins. So,
I agree.
Yeah, this actually stated that they had identified 20,000 Parkinson's disease patients and looked at whether using statins was associated with a higher or lower risk, and they found that the people using the statins had a higher risk of the disease. So this is opposite of what had been hypothesized and probably purported. I mean, I can probably see a doctor saying, hey, this will protect your brain. It's the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's a shame, too. I want to make an announcement before the break here, too, because I've the last year I've been kind of mulling whether I should stay in competitions here. And my wife and I kind of decided a couple of weeks ago that I'm not going to do any more competitions. It's not that the competitions are so hard, because that's the fun part. It's the constant training of high-level training. And I'm just finding my body is kind of rejecting it, and it's taking much longer for me.
You can still just do your jiu-jitsu for fun.
Yeah, I'm still going. And
actually,
it's in the last couple of weeks I've enjoyed it a lot more.
Because the pressure's off.
Because the pressure's off. So I'm kind of doing a new adventure coming up. My son was planning on coming down to...
This is cool.
Down to...
watch you compete.
Watch me compete, and since I decided not to. I'm going to do a special vacation with him. So him and I are going out west, and we're going to spend a couple of days in the bush, And we've got somebody out there that has been through these Bigfoot areas.
Ooh.
And we're going to be spending a couple of days in Bigfoot territory and looking at all the different things that are out there. And there's a lot of things. If you look at some of the channels on there, you see a lot of things happening with trees and things like that they put all kinds of, we call it kind of artwork out there. But they have these amazing things. So if you go to some of the YouTube channels about Bigfoot and see that they're building structures and they're actually building some different types of artwork, and you can actually see where these creatures are. And whether you believe in it, it doesn't really matter to me. I've never seen one myself, but I've certainly seen evidence of them. So we're going to spend some days in the bush together.
That sounds like a great father-son adventure.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool, and I'm of course going to bring you films and video when we come back. So you'll look forward to that in May. So we'll be right back. The number here is 877-927-6648. If you go to the Primal Edge, pick that up. Starting at 9 o'clock today is when it starts, folks.
Eastern Standard
Call
Time.
after 9 o'clock.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Of course, we're having our big promotion right now at TFNN.com. You go to the front page, you'll see November Healthy Holidays promotion. You save $25 on your first bottle of Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It's the first time we've ever discounted it. It's a huge thing. If you have Primal Edge coming to your home now, just give us a call after 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll get that taken care of for you and give you a discount on the next bottle, too. So we've been talking about cholesterol and statins and things like that. I think it's a good time to transition to, because we always promote fats, but what do different types of fats do to you? And I think it's important to realize that there are good fats, there are bad fats, and there are fats that can help us, and there are certainly fats that heal, fats
or
that hurt.
hamper, right. Heal and hamper. Some of them heal us and some of them hamper us.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. So, kind of going over this, I think you wanted to, did you want to
Well,
kind of
as it
open
says
that
here,
article?
you might be wondering why America seems to be fatter and sicker than ever before when we have so much focus on losing weight and eating a healthier diet. This is the paradigm that is on TV everywhere. We're talking about eating healthy. We're talking about losing weight.
What is a healthier diet?
Yeah, what is? And if you listen to the mainstream and all those advertising, there's nothing in there that I see that we can eat.
It's the truth, and they've built a whole food empire on these frankenfoods, as we so to speak.
Two empires. We have the medical empire and we have the food empire.
Right, and they're two peas in a pod.
No doubt. Yep.
So to speak. So let's get to the bottom of real and fake fat. So what we found, a study came out that just showed that recently revealed that the linoleic acid concentration in fat tissue in Americans has skyrocketed about 136%. It's not so much that people are eating more fats, but the bad fat is taking over because we're eating out in restaurants and they use the bad fats. So where do you get these linoleic acid fats? Well, if you've been watching our show, you know linoleic acid concentrated in seed or vegetable oils like corn and canola is a polyunsaturated fat that's most prevalent in food today, but its modus operandi is the way it accumulates in the fat tissue, and it's what concerns researchers today. Kind of makes that, I call it the plastic fat, because it gets damaged.
So this is like soybean oil, the canola oil, which is the rapeseed. We have corn oil, we have sunflower oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil. You wouldn't even think cotton seeds were something that you'd want to eat. And peanut oil. None of these seeds, like sunflower seeds, are good for you because they are in whole form and haven't been subjected to the chemical process. And some of the seeds may be all right. Like I use sesame seeds, which is a real small seed, for cooking a lot of times because it has a high smoke point. But most of these things are extracted with chemicals, and even if they aren't, they're probably not good.
Well, and again, if the sesame seed itself is great to eat. I think, even like flaxseed, people talk about the health of flaxseed, but not so much the oil. If you have the seeds and you keep them in the refrigerator and then you grind them, they're going to release their natural oils in the natural way that they came with the whole food.
But they're still harder to digest than, say, butter or...
no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Fat animals from a healthy... fat from a healthy animal. It's still better as far as cooking with it, as far as having your body assimilated as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And that's really what we want. We want things to digest quickly. And we know all these plant proteins and plant fats are much harder for us to digest. Our body takes its time doing it because it may not have the proper ingredients in there.
Exactly.
But if you're supplementing yourself with some really good, or you're eating some fermented foods, you're going to get pretty good stuff out of it. But,
so just to kind of touch on that, even though they market those fats that are down that one aisle, that's all that clear plastic, that's your sign right there. Clear bottle, oils, rancid from the sunlight, okay?
Well, they're actually...
But the science does not prove that these, but yet they put on them heart healthy vegetables. They are not. And, it was just really something that was based on shelf life and economics.
We see a stick of butter or a stick of lard, and you see it in solid form, and you imagine it in your body. That's what they're trying to do to us.
Right.
Where the liquids are already liquid, it makes sense that it would be easier, but exactly the opposite is true, because when the solid ones enter our body, especially like if we're talking lard and if we're talking the fat from cows or the fat from pigs, or even, I really don't want to mention chicken, but even the fat from chicken, if it's a healthy bird, is going to be good for you. But the ones that are in liquid form actually turn more like solid in your body.
That's the exact thing. And so with the adoption of polyunsaturated oils, the natural fats, such as butter and lard, that our forebears were raised on, they've been made to be something bad, and they're not. And as America turned to vegetable oils, which are a source of this concentrated linoleic acid, the body fat climbed at a remarkably similar rate. And here is a report. Listen to these stats. Before 1920, coronary heart disease was rare in America. But during the next 40 years, the incidence rose dramatically, and by the mid-50s, heart disease was the leading cause of death among Americans. What happened? During 1910 to 1970, the proportion of traditional animal fat in the American diet declined from 83% to 62%, and butter consumption plummeted from 18 pounds per person to 4.
Yeah, remember when that happened? I remember distinctly because we had the Crisco all of a sudden came in. And this was oil that was hydrogenated to make it solid. And then they made the margarine, and then they put the yellow dye in it. Remember
It's
when
disgusting.
in the old days we used to have the dye used to be in there in a little plug, and you just have to knead it to get it in there. That was my job when I was 10 years old. But the thing is that they fooled us. They thought, okay, here's an oil, we can put this hydrogenated process through it, make it look like butter, and have everybody eating margarine. And now we have it, you think it's butter, you think it's not butter. We don't even know if it's butter, it's probably not butter.
It's not butter. I mean, if it's not. And the truth is, butter is a supreme food. In fact, Weston Price, who was part of seeing this big change to these plastic oils and the and overuse of the grains, you know, when that said that before 1920, well, let me get back to what Weston Price said. You know, he said that it was the butter that was a superfood for most cultures.
Yeah.
But around the 1920s, the man developed the electrocardiograph, EKG or something.
Yeah, EKG.
And he went to Harvard, and they said, "You're not going to make any money.
Yeah.
There's no heart disease."
There's no heart disease problem. They fixed that pretty quickly.
50 years later, yeah, sure enough, they found a way to make it.
So the reason we bring this whole thing up is we want people to understand that there is a healthy way to eat out here, and it's not what our government, it's not what our food companies are talking about. We have to switch our paradigm and start thinking about what our ancestors did 500, 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, and look at what they were eating, and that's what brought us to here. Real healthy until maybe 150 years ago. Not as healthy as we were 10,000 years ago, but we certainly were on a pretty good path going with civilization until the manufacturing really ruined us. And the manufacturing of food is specifically what I'm talking about here.
And it's really what it breaks down to it. All this chemical concoctions of these processed oils renders a product that has now been linked to widespread inflammation. Remember, we talked about the fire earlier today?
Yep.
The widespread within the body, elevated blood triglycerides, and impaired insulin. It's the foods, folks. We are what we eat.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
So we've been talking about how you get more of the good fat and less of the bad fat. And, you know, we've got good and bad fat on our bodies. And we came across this article, The Effect of Cold Showering on Health and Work. Cold showering, you know, it's something that, we use that slang, go take a cold shower, but it really has great health benefits.
Yeah, and what I found interesting, too, because here in Florida, of course, during the summertime,
we can't get cold water out of our
but
pipes.
It is colder than what we're used to.
Yeah.
So it's the difference that really makes a difference. And I think dunking in water that has ice in it, probably really good. But just switching off cold. Anyway, I wanted to get the study. The aim of this study was to determine the cumulative effect of a routine of hot to cold showers on sickness and quality of life and work production. And this is real interesting, probably to people who own businesses and have their employees start this, but I don't know how you get your employees to do that except have them read the article.
Go home and take a cold shower.
Yeah, you're letting off a little too much steam here. But they had this this thing, and the method of this study was between January and March of 2015, 3,018 participants between the years of 18 and 65 without any problems, and no routine experience of cold showering were randomized. Randomized cold showers for 30, 60, 90 seconds, or a control group doing 30 consecutive days followed by 60 days of cold showering at their own discretion for the intervening groups. So some of them were taking cold showers, some of them were not.
And they were studying the outcome on illness days and related sickness absences from work.
And I think the results were pretty outstanding. 79% of the participants in the intervention groups completed 30-second consecutive day protocol. A negative biennial recession model showed that 29% reduction in sickness absentees for the hot to cold shower regime compared to the control group that had an incidence rate of 0.0003% for illness days, showed no significant group effect.
Well, so there was no significant group effect for illness days.
For illness days among the placebo group, as opposed to the ones who were doing the cold showering.
Yeah. So
the conclusion of the study is that the cold shower resulted in a statistically reduction of self-reported sickness absentees, but not illness days in adults without severe problems.
Well, you know, the father...
This was in Holland, of course.
Yeah, of course, up in the Netherlands. You know, the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said that the most important things we could do for our health is a massage and a daily bath. And if you look back, even back during Roman times, bathing was based around the practice of moving through a series of heated rooms, culminating in a cold plunge at the end. They called this traditional ritual frigidarium. And it's been kept in most high-end saunas and spas around the world. So, you know, it's really actually, cold bathing is quite common in many parts of the world. Ever since
Finland.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge thing there. Well, Finland is really known for their hot and cold stuff. So
Right.
lots of saunas
Right.
and lots of cold dipping.
Yeah, and I remember when I was young, one of the first things I did was I joined a spa when I was like 18. We didn't have gyms like LA Fitness and all that
Right.
all around, and they had a sauna. They had saunas, and then they had the cold polar plunge. And I've stayed at some nice hotels where they have that, but that is so huge for our health, and I enjoyed that. It was rather stimulating. You could feel your cells. You would just get in there, get out of that cold, and then sit in a lounge chair, and your whole body just tingled.
Yeah, and actually the shivering that takes place in there is really good for your body's immune system to kind of readjust and kind of jumpstart it too. And of course, cold is good for joints and things, joint pain and things like that. Now, when I take a sauna, after I take the sauna, I go out and run and jump right into the pool. Now, in the summertime, it's not a big discrepancy.
But in the winter, it will be.
Well, now I've got it down to about 82,
Right.
along with the temperature. So, as the winter goes, it gets cooler and cooler. And I really enjoy getting in the hot tub and then taking the plunge in, going back in the hot tub, taking another plunge. And I try to do that like 3 times. And I find when I do this consistently, I have less and less problems with anything, including allergies, getting colds. I just feel real good. I feel real strong. And it's a beautiful thing. This study really points this whole thing out. The study was, and this goes along with all the different ages too. It doesn't matter how you are. Now, they started with 18 to 65, which is normal. You want consent and things like that.
Well, what we also know is it really helps to activate our active fat, our metabolically active fat,
Right.
and stimulates those mitochondria in there, and so we get more of the brown fat than the regular subcutaneous fat. Yeah.
So the qualities of life is really what we're talking about here, and the outcomes on this are pretty dramatic. Quality of life was assessed during a short form, so they had a reported survey of health, and they found after 4 weeks they validated themselves by saying, yes, I feel a lot better. So everybody was feeling better. There's a lot of different things. They explored anxiety. They did a follow-up. They did meditations. So they did a lot of work production was assessed, and they found positive things in every single category from the people who took these cold plunges. So if you're not doing this, I recommend it highly. It's a nice thing, and just think of the shivering as your body healing.
Exactly. Excuse me. I think, too, one of the things, those of you that live in a colder climate, this is a great procedure to get started. I mean, simply, you don't have to plunge into the cold, just cycling your shower head so that you can get enough cold coming out and just, work on increasing the amount of time you allow the cold water to hit you.
And if you're taking a plunge, don't try to put your toe in and slowly go in.
It's a plunge.
It's got to be a
It's
plunge,
called plunge
otherwise
for a
you're not
reason.
going to do it. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if the first time you jump out really fast, that's okay. We understand. In fact, when I was 10 years old, I was living in Sudbury, Ontario, and every spring we'd go out and see if the ice was still on there, and if the ice was no longer on the lake, we could plunge in. But one year, it was like June, and we see ice way out there, and I says, geez, how cold can water get? It can only get 32 degrees, and we were on this dock, and the dock was pretty high, maybe 15 feet. I said, I'm just going to jump in. So I ran off that dock and plunged in. I think I came out faster. It was so cold. I never did that again, but I might try that again sometime.
Well, this is what I like, is that I know that it does good things in my body, because cold bathing has been claimed to have multiple beneficial effects on health, such as improvement of the immune system, the cardiovascular circulation and vitality, and so it's something worth doing. But I can honestly tell you, it is not my favorite thing to be cold. But I think we should watch, what's his name, the Iceman.
Yeah, and in fact, I heard an interview a couple of months back with the Iceman, and one thing that drew him to do this was actually the shivering.
Yeah.
When he went into the water and shivered and forced his body to stay there, he had all kinds of things happening to his body that he felt so good. And he says that's what made him keep going back.
Right.
And he's done amazing things. He's crossed the Sahara running and done 30 miles without water.
Yeah, because
No water.
he's so adaptive.
He's very adaptive. We don't need as much as we think we need as long as our body is in good condition. And his body must be. He's an amazing guy. He's, I think, now in his 80s and still just
He doesn't look like
amazing.
he's in his 80s, is
No.
he really?
Yeah.
Well, let's look him up.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is.
Hoff.
Anyway, we have
Yeah.
one more segment left, folks. Stick around. The number here is 877-927-6648. Take advantage of our promotion for the Primal Edge. And Paige and I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
And welcome back. We were talking briefly about Wim Hof.
Wim Hof is not 80, he's 57.
I was a little off by 30 years.
But that's okay, guys. If you can see him on the telestrator, he's truly amazing. Actually, my Qigong teacher, Jeff Primack, actually took one of the treks with him to do the ice meditations. But, it's really important to check out what this guy's doing, I think. And he's the holder of 20 Guinness World Records for withstanding extreme temperatures. He's climbed Mount Everest and Kilimanjaro in only shorts and shoes. And he stayed comfortable in ice baths for hours. And he runs a full marathon in the highest desert, 50 degrees Celsius, with no water and no food. And he's able to accomplish these feats with ease through the use of his method, the Wim Hof method, a breathing technique that allows you to control the autonomic nervous system. And you can learn how to try Wim's method for free. There's actually a couple of video courses you can do. You can log into.
He's currently working with a group of university researchers to prove that anyone can do the extraordinary things he does. He's taking 12 participants who have no prior training and instructing them over a span of a week. At the end of the week, each participant will be injected with a bacterium that normally causes violent nausea, vomiting, and fever for several days. However, with the use of the Wim Hof method, the participants will feel nothing.
That's he really wants people to understand the power of this adaptive process of adapting your body through hot and cold, and the ability to meditate and accept these cold temperatures. It truly builds the immune system. He says he has a vision of a world without sickness.
Yeah,
and
you would think that researchers all over the world would be attempting these things themselves and getting on the bandwagon when you hear things like this: no disease, your chance of recovering are so good, you feel so great, you sleep better, you perform better in any activity that you do, you have a clearer brain. So people who are doing this type of thing, people who are doing the paleo ancestral type of diets, this is what should be studying. Of course, here at UCF, we do have that going on in Orlando. We have many people studying these things, but I think the whole world should get on the bandwagon and spend the money on this type of stuff instead of spending thousands and thousands on these drugs that cost $10,000 or $700 a whack.
And we know they're actually causing other diseases, as we learned today, increased risk of Parkinson's. So just to kind of highlight the Wim Hof method, it's similar to Tumo, or inner heat breathing, Tumo meditation, and pranayama, yogic breathing. It's deep, rhythmic, meditative breathing, yet it's really something entirely different. While Wim has studied yoga and meditation for many years, this technique primordially comes from what he terms cold, hard nature. By subjecting himself to the bitter conditions of nature, he learned to withstand the extreme forces of cold, heat, and fear. If you learn this method or technique correctly, it will empower you to do the same. So that's really encouraging.
And these breathing methods are really interesting too. I've done a couple of them, and I really can feel the difference. I like the author here: before you try this at home, don't do this underwater, don't do it while you're driving, don't do it while you're standing up, and without approval of your medical caregiver.
Right.
So they're covering all the bases.
Right.
It says just get comfortable and close your eyes, and then you stand or sit in a posture and expand your lungs freely. And there's a warm-up to this. There's a 30 breath, power breaths that you let out all the air, and you take some back in, you hold it for 30, 40, 50 seconds, and then you let it out, and without rebreathing, you inhale again and do the process. And then the fourth step is really going and taking all the air out and bringing all the air in as much as you can. And so there's a whole process. Look them up.
Yeah, Wim Hof. Perhaps you can
H-O-F.
You can check for the free 3-day course on how to do it.
Yeah, and John Logan is next on TFNN with the Global Market Pulse. Stay tuned, folks, and see you next time. Thanks for sticking around.
And have a great rest of your week.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.